So we had promised to end the discussion portion of this event at 5:30. And we've gone a few minutes over that. And I thank you all for your time. So before we wrap up... Yes.
So I just want to know...
hang on one second, sir.
I just want to know how are you going to prevent more hate crimes in the town? Because this last year, we suffered 2 hate crimes in the town. So I want, maybe it's not isn't going to be your duty, but as a selectman, I want to know how are you going to prevent that. My name is Juan Perfetti, so you can...
You're welcome to respond to that. What I was going to say was, there are a few questions, including the one you wrote, sir, which we didn't have time to get to in the limited amount of time we have today. What I'll offer to do is post all of these questions on our Facebook page, and you're welcome to respond then. If any of you would care to comment on that, we can do that. What I'd suggest is maybe we can do this one-on-one. We have a few minutes allocated now so that you can meet all the candidates. We will make all of these questions that are pending, like I said, available on our Facebook page, and let the candidates comment publicly there if they so choose. But I think some of them want to comment now, so I'll go for it. Ben, and then Rashid.
I really think the man deserves a question. An answer to his question. Public safety is my #1 priority in town. And we're going to be building a new police station, and there are going to be public hearings on that. And I think that might be a good place for you to come in and speak before the boards and make your thoughts known in a public way. There's no excuse for, I don't even like hate crime, because all you have to do is say you love somebody when they're beating you up. And it's not a hate crime. I don't think there should be any distinction between the crimes. A crime is a crime. But I think that's something to bring up at the budget hearings each year and see what the police plans are combating this.
Yeah. Since we started, Rashid, Mo, and then I guess we'll just go around.
So I think this is exactly what we need to do, what we're doing today. We need to have more of these conversations where different people from different backgrounds come in and we interact with each other. It's very important to have an open dialogue and people understand each other better. And that's #1. That we get involved in these debates and discussions and the town matters, and we give it back so people get to know each other better. #1. And #2, I think we need to have, in the last 7 months, we had several discussions in different towns even, because there has been crime in the last few months to years. So basically what we have done is we have brought the selectmen as well as the police chief into different dialogues and discussions, and they talk to people and put them on ease and have them understand their rights. So it's important that we understand our rights and we interact with these folks, but it's also important that we get involved, we feel an ownership. This is our country as much as anybody's country. We all love this country, and this country offers us a lot. So what we need to do is, we need to feel our responsibility, interact with each other, so everybody understands each other better. And this is definitely one of the forums we need to have more.
How about I saw Mo first, and then...
It's on.
No, it's not on. It is not. Thank you for the question. I think it's an important one. I can tell you I don't have all the answers to it. I think it's very complex. But I think what we can do in the town level is to start by fostering an inclusive attitude, an inclusive dialogue, both within the government and within our various areas of the community. #1. #2, the schools, I think, do a good job, and I think it would help to do more, for lack of a better term, sensitivity training. I know that my son grew up in a very diverse school population, and I see him to be much more accepting of other people, of all nationalities, of all of the races. So I think schools can help a lot. And then, of course, when it gets to the other part, we need to make sure that we have adequate policing to protect people. And I would start with those three. And I'm sure there's much more work to be done than that, but I think if we all have an inclusive attitude and want to embrace each other and our daily lives, I think that makes all the difference. So that would be my short suggestion.
Maybe Missy, and then we'll end with you, Beth.
We definitely have to keep the dialogue going on all levels, and again, echoing what everyone else says, is that we need to keep talking. But what we seem to be looking at right now are just talking about racial issues. The hate crimes don't stop with just racial issues or religious issues. You're also looking at gender and sexuality hate crimes as well. When you're starting to see some of the issues around transgender bathrooms and homosexuality, those are also very, very violent, and they do happen as well. So we not only need to address the racial and religious, but we also need to address the gender issue. And I think the dialogue is great, but the reality is that I have a feeling some of the people that are having these issues are not the kind that are going to be coming to these events. So this is again where what Mr. DiPaolo said, is that we really need to have the police have a very strong presence and send out the message through the community. And again, this is where the town can do that as well. And then have the more education as well with the police, how to handle these issues so that they do not escalate. Because again, as our town population continues to grow, we will be seeing this.
I think that any of us can look at our own families and recognize that there's diversity there, and there's ways in which we're vulnerable. And I'm so sorry to hear that you've had some experience with hate crimes. I've always found Shrewsbury to be an extremely welcoming community, and I think that that's part because of the tone that is set by the residents, that there's a respect for diversity, not just cultural diversity, but as Missy said, for different gender identities and sexual orientation diversity. One of the things that I find to be reassuring and positive at a time that seems to be uncertain and scary is the Shrewsbury Diversity Coalition. And that is a group that sprouted up in the fall and welcomes anyone to participate in their meetings, which are held at the Shrewsbury Public Library. I've been fortunate enough to attend those meetings, and I felt welcomed and part of the group and able to contribute. And every time I leave there feeling proud of our community and how open and how welcoming our community is to others. And I think that that's something that's very special about Shrewsbury and something that we should be proud of. My children attend school where 29% of the population is of Indian descent. That did not exist when I was a child going to school. Our world has completely changed in the past 40 years and will continue to change. And just by being here today, we show that we celebrate and welcome diversity. And I think that by having this forum and by continuing the discussions and being open to different ideas and points of view and always being able to listen to one another with respect, we'll see hate crimes hopefully happen less often in our community.
Thank you, Beth, and thank you, everybody.